Make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
In a composite nation like ours, made up of almost every variety of the human family, there should be, as before the law, no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no black, no white, but one country, one citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny for all. Frederick Douglass.
I use the law as a tool to crank up this democracy and help to steer it in the direction of implementing its great constitutional freedoms that all men are created equal. Juanita Jackson Mitchell.
These are the quotes of the 2026 Black History Oratory Competition. Hello, I'm Nikki Zizaza and welcome. Every year, WJZ shines a spotlight on Black History Month by asking high school students across Maryland to write an original essay based on one of these quotations. The students with the top scores perform their speeches live before an audience to compete for scholarship prize money. And now we're proud to introduce you to these amazing students. And coming up, we'll announce the winners of the Black History Oratory Competition right here on WJZ.
I arrived to this country as an immigrant with the idea of the American dream and the promise of equality. I came believing that there was nothing I couldn't do, and that as long as I put my mind to it and I worked hard, there would be a light at the end of the tunnel waiting for me. And do not misunderstand me, I will continue to hold on to that belief because I cannot afford to live without dreaming, but that is precisely what the American promise has become.
Face the chaos and fight for your rights. Don't let others strip them away. By facing the chaos, you will soon realize we will never have a perfect world. But that doesn't mean we can't make it better. Stand strong and courageous. Don't bend, don't yield, and especially don't comply with those infringing on your rights. We are stronger together, and we feel secure when we're given respect for our boundaries and existence.
America's future depends on whether we finally complete the unfinished revolution Douglass envisioned by transforming diversity from a fault line into a shared foundation of equal citizenship under the law. As a citizen of the United States of America, I inherit both the promise and the responsibility of that revolution.
If we could all just come together as one, as a nation, the world would be a much different place. If we make a commitment to move as a unit, there would be less violence and judgment in the world, and more peace, kindness, and balance for society. So, I challenge not only myself, but you all as well, to take the extra step. Go the extra mile to be involved in bringing humanity back.
We are taught never to arrive empty-handed, so we bring with us the baggage of our hopes and a name in a foreign language. We are often met with the same question: what makes the American dream? The answer to this question is not found in sensationalized stories. It is not found in miracles. It is not found in fairy tales or in made-up fiction. No, it is answered in the streets of those hard-working people, answered in the fight they pursue in this great nation.
For this nation to perpetually shine as a beacon of democracy, justice must be upheld in all its forms. Sadly, this has not been the case throughout our republic's history. From the Three-Fifths Compromise to the Jim Crow laws, justice has long been an endangered species.
America is one of the most diverse nations in the world, and that diversity is not a weakness, it is our foundation. There would be no nation without the immigrants, without the white, without the black, without the rich, and without the poor. Our differences make us human, and together they make us one nation.
I open my phone and Anne Frank quotes are blasted again as if they were written today and for moments too long. I'm not sure if they're not. And again, I watch as people across the country flood into the streets, fighting for a nation where they just might be able to recognize the words they've chanted as young as they could speak at all. Liberty and justice for all.
In a perfect world, we would have true equality, where no one is better than the other based off of race or gender. As, in a pluralistic nation like ours, made up of every variation of humans, there should be no dictator, no power based off of wealth or status, but one nation with equal rights and a common destiny for all.
On a chilly October morning, stood a student staring at a flag with 13 stripes and 50 stars, questioning the honesty of her classmates. As the announcements continued, she wondered how one could say the pledge and omit offensive language within the span of 2 minutes. Since that day, I have longed for the moment to do this daily practice with peers who will uphold its meaning.
I aim to encourage all students, regardless of their gender identity or ethnicity, to pursue what they are truly interested in. This experience has not just shaped how I serve my community, but also who I want to become. I want to make sure that there are no doors that stop anyone from pursuing what they are truly interested in. There should be no barrier that inhibits individuals from feeling comfortable when exploring their interests or their passions.
Videos, posts, distractions. We scroll without thinking. Isn't there more to life than scrolling on our devices? Before technology, protests and advocacy were done in person, as exemplified by Martin Luther King Jr. He organized nonviolent protests that gave African Americans equal rights. Nowadays, advocating for change feels as simple as clicking a share button. However, social media actions like liking, viewing, and commenting simply aren't impactful.
Making a career out of humanity means to live a life not for oneself, but as a catalyst for lasting progress. Rather than hoarding up wealth, wisdom, and opportunities through selfish ambition, it is essential to use our blessings as avenues for blessing others. For example, having educational opportunities has allowed me to pour knowledge into the lives of many. The same individuals I've been blessed to teach will go on to become teachers themselves.
These words were relevant in 1869, fought for by Dr. Martin Luther King in the Civil Rights era. Today, these words still remain true in pursuit of one thing: equality.
My ELA teacher, Ms. Wilkinson, illuminates how needed this change really was. I remember one day she was spotlighting the genius of MLK's letter from Birmingham jail. She was drifting around the room in her dark blue Catonsville Comets hoodie, speaking like a wave, trying to get every word to land. She read the line, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere."
Your voice serves as your own individual outlet, through which endless possibilities prevail over what once was demanded subjugation. Force yourself to live and to breathe the experiences of others so that it is with instinct that your mind longs for freedom and acts toward a future where justice is no longer a preference, but an unveiled permanency, rewriting the edited stories of those who have been redacted.
These students show us just how powerful public speaking can be. In fact, all three of this year's quotations came from influential public speakers who used their words to create change, including Juanita Jackson Mitchell. She was a civil rights activist and the first African American woman to practice law right here in Maryland.
Juanita Jackson Mitchell called herself a freedom fighter, and that's who she was from a young girl to an adult, to her senior years. That's how she lived her life. Juanita Jackson Mitchell was the daughter of Lily Carroll Jackson, who also called herself a freedom fighter, who was the president of the Baltimore chapter of NAACP for 35 years. So she grew up in the NAACP. She saw her mother organize and work side by side with her. So she started the youth chapters of the NAACP. And so today, there are hundreds of those chapters based off of her work. Juanita motivated young people in a lot of ways. First of all, she did a lot of things when she was young. She graduated from high school at the age of 14. But she was somebody who already, while she was in high school at Douglas High, was participating in what they called declamation contest, which is the same as oratory or public speaking, but that's what they called it then. And so she was winning then, inspiring people with her speeches. But after she got out of college, which is during the Great Depression, 1931, and there's no jobs especially for African Americans. And so she and her sister, Virginia, co-found the Citywide Young People's Forum. And so they have speakers like W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary McLeod Bethune, Walter White, that come to the churches, and they would have thousands in the audience. They would discuss the issues of the time, and the young people would come together and perform or have contests of their own. But they got an opportunity to meet with these individuals who were change makers themselves and discuss the issues of the time. Public speaking was very important to Juanita Jackson Mitchell. And so she used speech to kill legislation and laws that were unjust and discriminatory. And then she also used her speeches, her writing, and all of that to change the laws, to get justice for people. So she knew that it could change people's hearts and minds. There are so many lessons to learn from Juanita Jackson Mitchell's life. First and foremost, I think that youth can make a change. She started young, she gathered friends and created organizations of youth that changed things. She knew the power of youth. So I would say for youth, definitely, if there are issues today that you see that you think are not right, that need to be changed, get together with your friends. You can make a difference. You can make that change.
When we come back, we'll find out who won third place. But first, as our nation celebrates a century of Black history, we remember Reverend Jesse Jackson, two-time presidential candidate and decades-long civil rights icon. We'd like to share one of his famous quotes. "If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I know I can achieve it."
See yourself here. Morgan State leads the way in musical theater, interior design, and media arts. Whether you're a first-year student or looking to complete your degree, Maryland's preeminent public urban research university is home to more than 150 academic degree and certificate programs. Join Morgan's Memento. Pursue the work of the future. Start your journey at the National Treasure. Morgan State University. Growing the future, leading the world.
WJZ Friday. Watch Star Spangled Stories. We highlight part of our state's great past as we count down to America's 250th birthday. Do you know why we're called the Old Line State? That Baltimore was once the capital, or how the Naval Academy was created. Every week, watch them on WJZ and see them all on WJZ.com/MD250. Star Spangled Stories, brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. There's only one place where you can hang with Huber. Find Marty and stay local and proud. Find out what's on the menu and keep your eye on entertainment. Take a field trip and never stop learning. It's the home of Wellness Wednesdays.
You ready for a little biology lesson?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Travel Thursdays.
Oh, I see you're on board the Amtrak. Hello.
And Fix It Fridays. There's only one place. WJZ at 9. Your happy hour.
For 100 years, the nation has recognized the contributions and achievements of African Americans. But knowing our history wouldn't be possible without historical archives. Next, we take you to Morgan State University to answer the question, what is an archivist?
This is the Nerve Center. This is where the materials are kept and where they're housed, both books, manuscripts, and artifacts in the Davis Room. It is the inner sanctum of all things historical. And it is triple locked, and you're getting a behind-the-scenes tour. It's pretty rich. I'm Dr. Ida Jones. I'm the Associate Director of Special Collections and University Archivist at Morgan State. An archivist is the sister profession to librarians. The archivist deals with the raw material of the written documents, the photographs, the audio-visual materials created by individuals and organizations throughout the course of that particular lifespan. And they save them and organize them, making them available for researchers to do films and books and other kinds of lovely things that we learn from. Like the farmer, we deal with the raw materials and the restaurateur serves the actual meal. That's how librarians and archives work. And this is from the 1930s. It's one of our earliest collections of the Morgan women. And Miss Davis, the namesake of the Beulah Davis Special Collections, stated that the library could house $200 worth of books, and so the idea of money for the library was always on the mind of these women.
How do you think she would feel about the collection you guys have today?
I think Mrs. Davis would be very impressed because she set a very deep and solid foundation. We have Elijah Cummings' papers here. We also have the papers of James Lewis, Victorine Adams, Little Verta Welcome, as well as Ellen Irene Diggs. So the faculty papers, the alumni papers have grown exponentially. Okay, I'm going to close this because I definitely will get lost in this. So. History is intellectual nutrition, and it's very important that we have the documents that prove what happened. So it's important to get the veracity, the truthfulness of what you're looking at. And Victorine Adams, who is pictured here in the center, was a Morgan alumna and first black woman to serve on the city council here in Baltimore. And so she created a group called the Colored Women's Democratic Campaign Committee, which was to help women of color, African American women, learn about the vote. So we're going to scan this picture here. And this is the next level of archives, is digitization. And if we don't study the rough and the soft, or the nice and the hard parts of history, we're doomed to walk back into those very cages we were liberated from. And so that's what archivists do, save those events, those moments, those photographs, visual materials, to help us collectively remember who we are and who we need to be going forward.
250 years ago, our founding fathers wrote the words, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal." But many in our history have had to speak up for equality, including one of Maryland's most famous orators, Frederick Douglass. Casey Baylor tells us what he had to say.
African American history is rich with orators whose words changed the world.
But perhaps no one is more relevant to the conversation than Frederick Douglass, whose presence at the podium helped change the national conversation about slavery.
When we think of the name of Frederick Augustus Bailey Douglass, we really have a captive individual who is swathed in this lovely regalia of the 19th century. But he understood that his image was also matched with his words.
Born into slavery on a plantation on the Eastern Shore, Douglass learned the alphabet at age 12 from the wife of his Baltimore slaveholder, who swiftly brought lessons to a halt. Determined to read and write, Douglass learned any way he could, by copying signs at the shipyard where he worked, even by challenging the white children in his neighborhood to outspell him.
So using other children, he learns to read. Using other children, he's able to experience his full other half of himself, not just the African that was enslaved, but the American that was also born free.
Douglass would later refer to literacy as the pathway from slavery to freedom. And in 1838, he used the identity papers of a freed black sailor to escape north out of Baltimore and across the Susquehanna River. His public speaking career began when the abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison first heard Douglass describe his personal experiences with slavery. Astounded by the emotion Douglass drew from the crowd, Garrison wrote, "I think I never hated slavery so intensely as at that moment."
And through his oratorical skills, his commanding experience through having grasped the whip of one of his slave drivers really helps us get a visceral understanding of what the captive experience was for African Americans born enslaved.
Garrison asked Douglass to travel the world as an anti-slavery lecturer, and Douglass spoke boldly, often risking his own safety to do so.
I am yet a slave, yet for the sake of the cause, for the sake of humanity, I will mention the names and glory in running the risk. I have the gratification to know that if I fall by the utterance of truth in this matter, that if I shall be hurled back into bondage, to gratify the slaveholder, to be killed by inches, that every drop of blood which I shall shed, every groan which I shall utter, every pain which shall rack my frame, every sob in which I indulge, shall be the instrument, under God, of tearing down the bloody pillar of slavery, and of hastening the day of deliverance for 3 millions of my brethren in bondage.
He was the first enslaved man many white Northerners had ever seen. And as the historian Carter G. Woodson later wrote, when Douglass spoke, men shouted, "What have we listened to? A thing or a man? We have heard a man." And to a country that declared all men are created equal, Douglass delivered a scathing criticism in his most famous speech. When invited to bring the keynote address at an Independence Day celebration in 1852, Douglass boldly asked, "What to the slave is the 4th of July?"
The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought light and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. To drag a man in fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems were inhumane mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens, to mock me by asking me to speak today?
He sees a very polished and elite class in carriages, eating off of china and sleeping in feather beds. Then he also sees the enslaved person in these hollowed huts, sleeping on the floor, eating the husk of corn. And it's because of those juxtaposed realities that Frederick Douglass uses his oratorical skills and his physical presence to reimagine what an African American man, what an African American citizen can be.
Frederick Douglass wrote a best-selling autobiography, and he even advised President Lincoln. But it's his personal story and how he told it to the audience that makes him one of the most important public speakers of our time.
And of course, WJZ is proud to bring the tradition of oratory to our young people today. Before the break, it's time to introduce the 3rd place winner. So let's check in with Nikki Zizaza at Morgan State University.
The 3rd place winner of the 2026 WJZ Black History Oratory Competition is Alyssa Collins. Well done! Before we watch the speech, remember, you can watch all of this year's speeches in their entirety. Just go to wjz.com/oratory.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. These are the words our nation has said for 134 years. But do we truly mean it? We place our right hand flat over our heart, but the hypocrisy occurs all too often for the promise that leaves our lips daily. The very foundation of our nation is immigration, not solely systematically, but physically as well. From nurses and engineers to farmers and construction workers, the United States of America is the product of generations of migrants that found their new home, their new abode. As a nation, we fail to remind our citizens of who we are. One nation. You thing called classism. What is your purpose? To intimidate those who work paycheck to feed their families? Perhaps even our nurses who save lives while raising little ones of their own, facing discrimination from those who simply have a heavier wallet and a paycheck with 2 more zeros. You thing called racism. Who are you? Why do you discriminate against others? Because of a color. Since when does the color of a box of cereal change its nutritional value? It doesn't. As humans, we are birds of a feather. The American dream can no longer be if we separate ourselves based off of social structures such as wealth, race, and influence. We will never have the American dream, true camaraderie and unification. We are reframing the dream, one where it will not only be a figment of our imagination, but a reality. A reality where we live out what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s goal for us was to not only live amongst one another, but to uplift our peers who differ from us, what he describes as an oasis of freedom. Alongside Dr. King, freedman, abolitionist, and orator Frederick Douglass reminded us in his 1869 speech titled Our Composite Nationality. In a composite nation like ours, made up of almost every variety of the human family, there should be, as before the law, no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no black, no white, but one country, one citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny for all. On a chilly October morning, stood a student staring at a flag with 13 stripes and 50 stars, questioning the honesty of her classmates. As the announcements continued, she wondered how one could say the pledge and omit offensive language within the span of 2 minutes. Since that day, I have longed for the moment to do this daily practice with peers who will uphold its meaning. Be reminded, when the Pledge of Allegiance is spoken, a promise is emitted, one to foster a nation that takes pride in its history, its people. And in saying this, in truth and in heart, I will proudly say, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
You're watching the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition Special. Brought to you by Morgan State University, growing the future, leading the world.
See yourself here. Morgan State leads the way in musical theater, interior design, and media arts. Whether you're a first-year student or looking to complete your degree, Maryland's preeminent public urban research university is home to more than 150 academic degree and certificate programs. Join Morgan's momentum. Pursue the work of the future. Start your journey at the national treasure. Morgan State University, growing the future, leading the world.
There's only one place where you can hang with Huber, find Marty, and stay local and proud. Find out what's on the menu and keep your eye on entertainment. Take a field trip and never stop learning. It's the home of Wellness Wednesdays.
You ready for a little biology lesson?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Travel Thursdays.
Oh, I see you're on board the Amtrak. Hello.
And Fix It Fridays. There's only one place. WJZ at 9. Your happy hour. Before he served on the bench of our highest court, and before he won the landmark case that brought an end to segregation in public schools, Thurgood Marshall attended a segregated public school right here in Baltimore. His father, a waiter, introduced him to the courtroom at an early age, taking Marshall to trials as a hobby. Then, in what is now known as Frederick Douglass High School, a prank landed Marshall in the principal's office. His punishment? To read the Constitution of the United States. The man who would one day be called Mr. Civil Rights heard no when the University of Maryland denied his law school application because of his race. 5 years later, Marshall sued the University of Maryland on behalf of another black student and won. For more on this, visit WJZ.com/MD250. WJZ Star Spangled Stories, celebrating 250 years of Maryland history. Brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
African American history is full of amazing people from Maryland. Janae Reese introduces us to just a few of these incredible influencers at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History and Culture.
Baltimore native Reginald F. Lewis established the first African-American law firm on Wall Street and became the first African-American to build a billion-dollar company. Reginald F. Lewis is one of the countless pioneering African-Americans from Maryland who paved the way in the worlds of business, science, sports, and more. Almost 70 years before the Civil War, Baltimore County-born Benjamin Banneker helped Andrew Ellicott, think Ellicott City, survey the boundaries of the future Washington, D.C. Undoubtedly a genius, Banneker charted the tides and even predicted a solar eclipse. Once, to satisfy his own curiosity, Banneker built a pendulum clock completely out of wood that kept time for decades.
Where we find his voice is in his actions, the creation of the clock that he made without having ever seen one, and the idea of using science and astronomy. So, unlike presenting speeches or doing things in a magnificent oral way, he uses science and his creations to speak to other aspects of humanity.
And Banneker used his scientific achievements to speak to the humanity of all Africans in a letter to Thomas Jefferson.
Even though President Jefferson disagreed with him, he still argued the case in terms of himself being an African American, gifted with genius, as equivalent to those who were in chains, who had not had their genius yet sparked because it was dulled by enslavement.
In the early 1800s, Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang left Cuba for the United States and settled in Baltimore, a city with more free black citizens than enslaved.
She establishes the Oblate Sisters of Providence nunnery. It is the oldest African-American nunnery in the country.
And seeing the dire need for schooling for African-American children, Mother Mary Lange opened up her own school in her home in Fells Point.
So being an African-American immigrant woman of a unique faith, a Catholicism, really led her to be kind of a unicorn. And in the midst of all of that, she was able to crusade with her vision for education and faith. That's a remarkable legacy to leave and a remarkable legacy to uphold.
Today, a school named in her honor continues that legacy, and many have since lobbied for her to become a saint. Before Muhammad Ali, there was Joe Gans. Considered the greatest lightweight boxer of all time, Gans shucked oysters before boxing paid the bills, and despite being forced to throw some matches to white opponents, he became the first African-American world boxing champion in 1902. Known as the Old Master, he was one of the first professional boxers to use strategy to win by studying the movements of his opponents. At age 3, he played the drums on pots and pans. At age 11, William Henry Chick Webb worked on a paper route to save enough money to buy his first real set. And despite an injury that curved his spine, Webb moved his natural talent out of East Baltimore and up to New York, where he founded one of the most influential swing bands of all time. And perhaps the most famous Marylander, Harriet Tubman, blazed the trail of freedom for escaped slaves along the Underground Railroad.
And as we think about her and reflect, we need to consider all aspects of her personality. She was not just a liberator of enslaved persons. She was not just an abolitionist or a suffragist. She was also a Union spy.
Disguised as a farmhand or an old woman, Tubman scouted southern plantations and created a spy ring to gather intelligence for the U.S. Army.
She was commanding formerly enslaved persons to follow her to Union lines. She was dealing with men and women, both military and non-military. So that's a very unique space to be in, a very athletic and intellectual space. And she navigated those lines meticulously.
In 1863, Tubman became the first woman in our nation's history to lead an armed military operation.
And we thank her for her service as a patriot to the true democracy we're living now as a result of the Union having won the war.
From the battlefield to the boxing ring and even Wall Street, our nation's history is filled with trailblazers from all walks of life who have paved the way through Maryland.
And we celebrate those trailblazers as we continue to celebrate Black History Month. Now it's time to find out who the second place winner of this year's competition will be. Remember, you can watch all of the speeches in their entirety at WJZ.com/oratory. Nikki, please tell us who won.
And the second place winner is Goodness Alafe. Once again, here's the winning speech.
We
the people. The three infamous words that opened the document, laying the foundation for the nation that we know as America. Yet since the very beginning, our country has been forced to confront who this we truly includes. Enslaved people wondered their place in we when they were denied natural rights. Women like Sojourner Truth wondered if they were ever a part of we when they were barred from the ballot box. Queer Americans questioned the bounds of we when they were denied the pursuit of happiness through marriage, and today, immigrants are still asking if we were ever included when Governor Morris drafted the preamble, as we are being denied due process, as we are being treated with violence, as we are being deemed aliens. The foundation of our country promises equal rights for all. Yet protection has only been consistently afforded for one homogeneous population, uniform and acceptable gender, race, class, and mind. The American promise has yet to be fulfilled for all. Frederick Douglass's Composite Nation speech stands as one of his lesser-known yet powerful examinations of the American identity. Delivered in 1869, just 4 years after the abolition of slavery, in an era riddled with white supremacy, Douglass declared that in a composite nation like ours, there should be, as before the law, no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no white, no black, but a common country, a common citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny for all. Some might foolishly and ignorantly argue that this statement is a reflection of communist ideology. It is not. Rather, it is a reminder of the promises outlined in our Constitution. It is a reminder that in a composite nation as ours, where the American identity is built from the soot on the hands of the Chinese railroad workers, from the sweat on the brows of the Hispanic laborers, and from the handprints of the enslaved children pressed into the bricks of Madison Library, our differences are encompassed within we, the people, and we shall face no unusual disenfranchisement for it. I arrived to this country as an immigrant with the idea of the American dream and the promise of equality. I came believing that there was nothing I couldn't do, and that as long as I put my mind to it and I worked hard, there would be a light at the end of the tunnel waiting for me. And do not misunderstand me, I will continue to hold on to that belief because I cannot afford to live without dreaming, but that is precisely what the American promise has become. A dream. A dream had by our slave-owning founding fathers when they drafted the documents to govern a nation where slavery wouldn't survive, and a dream had by Frederick Douglass when he declared for equality amongst we, the people. The realization of this dream does not lie solely in legislation. History has shown us that the machinery of America can make laws just as quickly as it dismantles them. The fulfillment of this promise lies in the hands of the people. So when we call ourselves American, I urge you to understand the responsibility that comes with that identity. I urge you to understand its contradictions, its injustices, and its unfinished work. I urge you to fight for the promise that has been made to all, so that regardless of circumstance, one day, in a composite nation like ours, the American dream may one day truly be accessible to we, the people, through the fulfilled American promise. Thank you.
Coming up, a riveting musical interpretation of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. But first, when we return, we'll announce the winner of the 2026 WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're watching the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition Special. Brought to you by Morgan State University, growing the future, leading the world.
You started your degree. Now let Morgan State University help you finish it. At the College of Interdisciplinary and Continuing Studies, we offer online, flexible degree programs designed for adult learners like you. Affordable tuition for all. Credit for prior learning and transfer credits. We honor your journey with personalized advising every step of the way. Morgan completes you because it's never too late to finish what you started. Learn more at morgan.edu/CICS.
WJZ would like to thank the 2026 Black History Oratory Competition judges. From WJZ, Michelle Wilson and Jeannie Starr. And from Morgan State University, Dr. Denise Jarrett and Dr. Juanita Gilliam.
A big thank you to all of our judges, and WJZ would like to say thank you to the students, teachers, and parents who have all made this year's competition a reality. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Nikki, please tell us who is the winner of the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition.
And the first place winner is Carolina Minasen. Congratulations, Carolina. Students, remember, with education and passion, you can make a difference. With young people like these, the future is bright.
We arrive on the shores, crammed onto the hull of a ship, greeted by the lady of the harbor. From the belly of a plane to the wheels on a dusty road we come. We are taught never to arrive empty-handed, so we bring with us the baggage of our hopes and a name in a foreign language. We are often met with the same question: what makes the American dream? The answer to this question is not found in sensationalized stories. It is not found in miracles. It is not found in fairy tales or in made-up fiction. No, it is answered in the streets of those hard-working people, answered in the fight they pursue in this great nation. It is answered in our kitchens, where we make food similar to what we made at home, in our communities that are made up of people who are similar to us. Our dream is not a destination. It is not merely to get to this country, but our dream is to make a better life for ourselves and our families, no matter the turmoil we may face. But this idea is nothing new. It has been repeated by many powerful voices. Frederick Douglass, who understood the cost of exclusion and the mistreatment that hardworking people faced, envisioned a life that would be available to all. He dreamed that in a composite nation like ours, made up of almost every variety of human family, there should be, as before the law, no rich, no poor, no high, no low, no black, no white, but one country, one citizenship, equal rights, and a common destiny for all. As a child of immigrant parents, my destiny is not set in stone. My destiny is still being formed according to Douglass's should be. I see the tiredness in my parents' eyes, and I see their brains churning, trying to translate foreign words. I see them living their dream, but I can't help to ask, is this a common dream that all can achieve? The American dream is a collective story of what an immigrant should be in this nation. However, the dream is left unfulfilled by millions. It is shown through the laborers working for merely cents and shown in their families who are being restricted from aid programs. Currently, many immigrants are being attacked and swept up in violent raids. People who seek the American dream, something that once our great nation was proud to boast, are being sent back. The American dream, the very nation that composes its pledge in liberty and in justice, has built walls and patrols to mute them. But these raids reveal something deeper about our dream. Although the thoughts of Douglass's should be will never be completely perfect, immigrants will still fight battles, endure the rage, formulate speeches, and they will continue to serve this country in the ways that they can. Immigrants are the holders of this dream, ensuring that their common destiny is a future where they can freely boast that they are proud to be an American too. Thank you.
All right, well, we have seen some amazing performances tonight, and when we come back, we'll conclude the evening with a very special musical performance. Don't go away.
You're watching the Black History Oratory Competition Special, only on WJZ. There's only one place where you can hang with Huber, find Marty, and stay local and proud. Find out what's on the menu and keep your eye on entertainment. Take a field trip and never stop learning. It's the home of Wellness Wednesdays.
You ready for a little biology lesson?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Travel Thursdays.
Oh, I see you're on board the Amtrak. Hello.
And Fix It Fridays. There's only one place. WJZ at 9. Your happy hour.
See yourself here. Morgan State leads the way in engineering, advanced computing, and cybersecurity. Whether you're a first-year student or looking to complete your degree, Maryland's preeminent public urban research university is home to more than 150 academic degree and certificate programs. Join Morgan's Momentum. Pursue the work of the future. Start your journey at the National Treasury. Morgan State University. Growing the future, leading the world.
On August 28th in 1963, over 250,000 people gathered at the National Mall during the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. And on that very same day, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered one of the most important speeches in our nation's history. So tonight, the prestigious Morgan State University choir singers, led by Dr. Eric Conway, will perform Charles Dickerson's musical tribute, I Have a Dream.
Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. Let us not wallow. The people yet languish in poverty and have is the Lord. Languish in poverty and have is the people yet languish in poverty and have is the Lord. Languish in poverty and have is the promise of life and liberty is and the next promise of life and liberty and the next promise of life and liberty is and the next promise of life and liberty has not extended to all. And though we face great difficulties today, as we face today, as we face tomorrow, I say to you, I have a dream. A dream that one day this nation will rise up and live the meaning of its creed. That all men are created equal. That all men are created equal. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and those that own them will sit at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, sweltering under the heat of injustice and oppression, transform, an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my children, my 4 little children, will live in a nation, nations where they're judged not by the color of their skin, not by the color of their skin, not the color of their skin, not by the color of their skin. The content of their character, dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, that little black boys and little black girls will join with little white boys and little white girls. Little black boys and little black girls will join with little white boys and little white girls as brothers and sisters, as brothers and sisters. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream that every valley shall be exalted, shall be exalted. I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. And mountain made low, every hill and mountain made low. I have a dream that every valley shall be exalted, shall be exalted, shall be exalted. I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream, and the glory of the Lord, and the glory of the Lord, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, revealed, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and the flesh shall see it together. I have a dream, a dream, a dream, a dream, a dream, a dream, a dream. So let us not wallow in the valley of despair. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you, I have a dream. This is our hope. This is our faith. With this faith, we will hew out of the mountains of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will transform this discord of our nation into a symphony, a symphony, a beautiful symphony of brotherhood, a brotherhood, a symphony of this faith. We will pray together, struggle together, go to jail together, knowing that one day we will be free, and this will be the day, this will be the day when God's children will sing with new meaning. My country's is a big, sweet land of liberty, of the I sing, of the I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. So let freedom ring from the hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring from the mountains of New York, let it ring from the heights of Pennsylvania and the provincial slopes of California. Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and the Lookout Mountain, Tennessee. Let freedom ring from Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. When freedom rings from every village, every hamlet, every slate, and every city, then soon the day will come when all of God's children, black man and white man, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will join hands and sing, join hands and sing, join hands and sing. All our children will join hands and sing, free at last, free at last. Let God Almighty will
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next year. Good night.
See yourself here. Morgan State leads the way in education, nursing, social work, and public health. Join Morgan's momentum. Start your journey at the national treasure. Morgan State University, growing the future, leading the world.